I'm Shae Russell from mining.com.au, and joining me today is Ivan Fairhall, the Managing Director for Pivotal Metals. Ivan, it's great to see you again. How are you?
I'm very well, Shae. Thanks for having me on.
Thrilled to have you on, as we today are talking about an EM survey. I believe that means electric magnetic survey that you've just decided to launch over at Horden Lake. Tell me why you're doing this survey.
Exactly, Shae. It's great to be back in the field. The survey team, as you said, is mobilising this week onto the property. And look, the EM survey, it's really about testing outside. We know where our deposit is. It's very well drilled and understood, and it's open, right? So we know that there's more to find. And before we just go start drilling holes left, right, and centre, we're looking to improve our ability to target new mineralisation. So we're launching this EM survey. Look, it's time domain EM survey. It's a type of EM survey, and EM stands for, as you said, electromagnetic. And look, it's a detailed survey, so I don't want to get technical, but it sends an electric current down. And what we have is very conductive mineralisation. We can cover a large area with this, and it allows us to test zones that we know are prospective and highlight and target these zones better for new mineralisation. It's all for us. It's all about expanding the search radius in line with our interpretation that the Horden Lake deposit is part of quite a large mineralising system.
I recall that Pivotal Metals launched a geophysical survey earlier in the year. Why are you doing a second one?
It's really key. Good memory and key observation, I suppose, is earlier in the year we did do that. What we did was downhole EM, so similar concept. It's the same physics at play. The underlying physics of it it's the same methodology where we stuck a probe down the holes that we drilled and we looked around those holes. And so it sort of limits you to a search space around any individual drill hole. But what that did demonstrate is very clear continuous extensions of mineralisation radiating out from the Horden Lake Project. And it's clear the deposit will grow incrementally and it's open. And we've sort of shown that with the drill bit. But what it really told us actually is one of the key takeaways was just how unusually conductive our mineralisation is. And it reinforced for us that like a powerful, and when I say powerful, effectively in this case, a very low frequency EM survey is necessary to sort of distinguish our mineralisation. And there's been some incomplete airborne surveys done on the property, but they sort of lack the capability to target what we now know that we're looking for. And we know this deposit signature, and so we've been able to calibrate this survey very carefully, and it's going to be able to see a decent anomaly sort of down over 500 metres deep. So it's got the ability, it's a big sort of search area and it can look quite deep. So that's exciting. Like, to put 500 metres into context, we've only really got 4 or 5 holes on the property that go down to that depth. The majority of drilling really only goes down to about 200 metres. So this survey is going to provide a kind of a step change in visibility across the property. The Horden Lake massive and semi-massive mineralisation is remobilised. So the opportunity here is to find new, potentially higher grade or scale accumulations of these sulphides that do characterise our deposit.
Ivan, I guess that takes me to what comes next for Pivotal Metals. Obviously, we've got a few more weeks until the end of the year. Sounds like you're going to be quite active going into the Christmas period.
Yeah, it doesn't stop. So this survey is going to take about a month, and in parallel, we've got a number of other work programs in progress. We've got sort of this survey in parallel. We're running the MET test work. A resource update is the sort of background work's being done in parallel with the MET work, and once we've got those MET results, we'll be plugging those into the resource update. And also in the news release today, just at the bottom, we mentioned that our BAGB project, we're crunching huge amounts of data, historical data that we pulled from previous operators. We pulled this land package together. So there's lots of data that hasn't really comprehensively been pulled together. And we've got historic resources, we've got mine deposits, we've got very high grades in drilling, lots of geophysics. So really exciting stuff coming together that we're making some progress on, and we can't wait to share some sort of the results of that, which we've been working on in parallel as well.
Listen, Ivan, I can't wait to see what comes next for Horden Lake. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me on, Shae.